Welcome to the Accunet Ambassadors show. I'm David Wickert, president and managing owner at Accunet Mortgage. My individual NMLS ID. Tim, I figure we should do this in case a regulator comes knocking on our door. My individual NMLS ID is 328847. I am joined today by Tim Holdman, senior loan consultant, vice president, managing owner. Tim, your individual NMLS ID again starts with a 1. That's what
1593146. Yeah, every episode I'm gonna slightly lengthen my title just to add more stuff to it.
That's my chief coffee officer this morning.
Yeah.
And we are joined today by Mr. Andy Renner, who is what do you call yourself? Like the owner, operator, founder, CEO?
All of the above. I really don't. Owner
all
JRL
titles.
Improvements.
Yes. Accounting manager.
Everything.
Proposal manager of JRL Improvements, which helps your home go from being what it was to what it should be.
Ooh,
Andy,
that's good.
We'll make t-shirts. Andy, welcome. I have an icebreaker just to get us going because interviews are strange. It's like performance art. And so it's always helpful to begin with something that's chill. So it's August. And I think it's going to be like in the mid 80s today. So my question to the two of you, and I'll go first, is on a hot day, are you a pool person or a lake person? And for me, I am a pool person. I like to look at a lake or look at an ocean or a body of water. But if I'm going to go in, I want to swim in a pool. Mr. Holdman, are you a pool person or a lake person?
Given the option, I'm going to go lake because I like to take a boat out into the middle and just float.
Nice.
And then jump in, just go straight in, swim around, float around for a little bit, and then get back on the boat. So if that's an option, I'll take that over pool all day, every day.
Good. Mr. Renner, lake or pool?
I'm going to complicate it by saying, depending on the situation, both.
How many beers have I had answer? Is that what that is?
Absolutely,
okay.
100%. If there is, I like Tim's going out into a middle of the lake and floating, there's definitely plenty of options in that vein that are good. But sometimes if you're just trying to relax, a pool is nice and easy. Yeah. And you don't have to try and unload and reload a boat, which can be difficult at times if you guys have seen videos on the internet.
It's not just even about the loading in and loading out. It's the politics of the ramp. And do I go? Do you go? I feel like Vince Vaughn describing, wedding crashers about boats. Like, is it me? Is it you? Is it
Well, and Andy, I mean, you guys have a pool, right? At your place? Yeah. Yes. So my joke is it's always better to know someone with a pool or a boat for that matter compared to being the guy that actually has those items.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have to play the job of pool boy fishing leaves out. We just say, bye, Andy, have a great day, and then you take care of the pool. Absolutely. See you next week.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, so Andy, the scope of the Accunet Ambassadors show is I was starting to list all of the different flavors of people that we could talk to that orbit this center of the universe called a house. And I the list, I swear to you, I had 50 people or 50 types of people, right? Because you could get a roofing person. You could get a driveway person. You could get a garage cabinet, installation person. And I think the scope of what you do, there are things you will do and things you won't do. So I guess my first question to you is, what do you like to not do? What are you yes, I will install a hot tub for you if you really want me to.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is an ever evolving list of stuff. Excuse me, at times. One of my things that I just do not have any interest in is drywall.
Fair.
There are many guys that are much better at it than I am.
Yes.
And stuff like it's just messy and dirty and nobody enjoys it. There is so much stuff in that hemisphere of the home that you're talking about.
Yes.
It's almost interior, exterior. There's so much. I try to stay away from exterior stuff.
I see.
And just focus on interior, remodeling and stuff like that. And there's been plenty of work. And when you first start a company, you feel the need to take everything on.
Yeah.
But as you grow, you realize what you're good at, what you should just let somebody else handle, just for the sake of your client and efficiency.
Is your drywall allergy from like experience? You had a terrible drywall.
100%.
Was it a ceiling installation? Is that why you just had it over your head and it fell on you like a comic book?
No, there was no defining event that happened. I just from very early on realized that I do not enjoy this, and I would just rather pay somebody else to do it.
It takes a special kind of person to be like, I'm gonna be the drywall crew.
Yes, and there's nothing like the guys that do it are fantastic.
Yeah.
All of my clients, when they're doing drywall, they just say, I can't believe how fast they got that done.
Yes.
And, I always tell them, you know what? It probably would have taken me a minimum of triple the time to do what they did.
Yeah. Well, so, Andy, David and I are both clients of.
Yeah, we should, full disclosure. We should be like, Andy has been in my house.
Well, and that's an amazing endorsement right there. But I remember when your drywall crew came in to do we had a bathroom and a whole kitchen ceiling that needed drywall and a hallway. And I think they got all that done in 2 or 3 days, if my memory serves me correct. Tim, it was good too. It was fast and it was good.
Tim, what part of your house did Andy not touch? That's the real question. The backyard?
The roof.
Okay.
Pretty much just the roof. Everything else, either Andy or one of his people took care of. Garage door, kitchen, 2 bathrooms, hallways, living rooms, flooring. All of it. Yeah.
By the way, I hope you guys are enjoying my bedazzled shirt. I'm going to turn my filter off and you're going to get to see my lovely, this is my garage. This is where I am. I'm being a cool kid in my garage right now. So
the filter did not know how to handle your shirt. It was freaking out all
there's
over
a cat.
the place.
Wait, there's a cat with pizza. Okay.
Hey, Tim, I tend to recall a temporary shower curtain when I was doing your bathroom with, I believe it was a cat holding guns riding a unicorn.
I think so. Yeah. I think did you get that?
I did. I tried to get the most ridiculous one temporarily for you guys while we were waiting.
Yes.
Holding the Bond golden gun, basically, or what was?
I'm sure Grace disposed of that, but I kind of wish we would have kept it somewhere just to pull out when we had company over. Just to think that. That's how we lived.
Your son really liked it.
Oh yeah. Who wouldn't?
Andy,
it has everything that little boys love.
If you've got a highlight sheet, one of them could be that you helped Tim and Grace go from having 2 toilets in one bathroom to just having 1 toilet in the same bathroom.
That was definitely a first for me. It was a little odd, but
how do you list that on a real estate listing? 1 bathroom, 2 holes, 2
double
exits.
Sepper.
Yeah.
I think that's a surprise you wait for people to see.
You got to get into the house to see that.
So Andy, can you kind of take us back to the beginning? Because do you wake up one day when you're 19 years old and you're like, well, I'm pretty handy, so I guess I'll do this? How do you arrive to the world of making a home go from being ugly to beautiful?
Sure. Well, for me at least, there was no defining moment where I just all of a sudden woke up one day. It was a series of small instances, and realistically, it did start out with, getting married, buying a home, having a family, not having any money to do anything about it. And, we bought our first house, and it everybody has that stuff in their house that they just don't like, the cabinets, I want to paint them, I hate this floor. So it really started out by remodeling my own spaces and learning how to do that and stuff like that. And then when you finally remodel a kitchen, you have a kid's birthday party or something like that.
Yes.
And that kind of morphed into, okay, in-laws and friends seeing, oh, you did this in your kitchen, can you do something for me? And there was multiple years of weekends and nights going to try and help friends and family do stuff to their house while working a full-time employed job.
Yeah.
And it turned into, just before COVID, getting so much work that I really seriously thought, okay, we could do this. I can turn this into a full-time career, which I had never originally planned.
Okay. I think they call that organic. If you were a
Yes.
Harvard Business Review article, that would be called organic, evolution
Absolutely.
or something.
Absolutely. And it sort of morphed into having one foot as an employee for a company, and then trying to do more and more on the side for friends and family. And I had everything ready to go. The biggest thing was health insurance for my family, because you go from being an employee to owner of a business, it's all on you.
Yep.
Health insurance is a major, especially when you have a young family, it's a major concern. So I made the transition from just being an employee and kind of doing stuff on the side to going full-time home remodeling. I believe it was in April of 2020.
Stop. Are you serious?
I am dead serious.
Oh,
perfect
I
time.
actually was going to make the transition sooner, and then COVID happened, and I told my wife, I said, I'm an idiot if I walk away from health insurance right now, at a time of, complete turmoil.
Yes.
But an odd thing happened. I kept getting more work, more and more and more and more work.
Okay.
So we ultimately decided, okay, it's now or never kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let's make a shot at it. And for the remodeling industry, I will say COVID was probably, more
A
difficult.
windfall is a judicious way of saying
you don't
a
have to
windfall.
be diplomatic about it. I mean, the reality is, like, a lot of people stayed in their homes and then said, well, we're going to be here for a while, let's remodel this thing.
Absolutely.
So it's probably a kind of a boom time for the remodeling industry.
It was. I could not believe how many calls I was getting about, just redoing from projects small to large. And from there, it's really grown, to a client base that, I would consider all the people that allow me into their home. You develop a relationship with them throughout the project, and I really enjoy what I do. I really enjoy the client base that I have.
What's fun is when someone calls you a contractor, do you bristle, or you're just like, cool? Is that
not
the
really.
term of art?
It doesn't bother me. I like to think I'm different from other contractors in my communication, and
you are, Andy. You are.
I try to be as open and honest as I can. I know a lot of contractors, so to speak, have a bad name just because, they start a project and then you don't see them for 3 weeks and stuff like that.
What I was going to say was a contractor is like a personal trainer, right? Because, like, if I walk into the gym and you have muscles and a six pack, like that is the billboard. It's like, hey, give me some of that, please. So I can just imagine, right? Like, especially if you're doing remodel work, like either when you started or as you continue to add clients and complete projects, you just like show people like, yep, you want some of this? Yeah, you want to see my six pack?
Yeah.
My Andy Renner six pack? I got a six pack. It's under there, but it's there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and Andy, you touched on a keyword relationship, which is we've interviewed several business owners of various size companies, and they've all, without any prompting, kind of touched on that as a key part of their business model. Where if you build a relationship with the customers that you do have in the beginning, the new customer acquisition kind of takes care of itself. Like I can't imagine you have to spend money on marketing or billboards or radio ads, because you get all the business you can handle and then some, probably just based off of taking really good care of your current customers. And then it kind of naturally branches out into, I mean, David, is that how you found Andy? Is like Grace and I were like, hey, you should really, you should call my guy Andy at JRL.
We walked into your kitchen and we're like, give me some of that, please. Is what it was.
Yeah. And ultimately it is, all this is about relationships and people feeling comfortable letting somebody you don't know on a personal basis into your home, into your, maybe around your wife and children, or when you're not there, is a huge, people have to be comfortable with whomever they're granting access to their life. And we've all seen Dateline specials and heard horror stories about, other people letting others into their home that had a bad experience. And ultimately it's about trust. You have to be comfortable with the people you're letting in your home. And that's, like I said, I don't do drywall. I legally cannot do electrical and stuff like that. I have to hire subcontractors for a lot of that stuff. The basic hurdle for me when I'm hiring a subcontractor for my clients to be in their home, my basic thing there is, would I feel comfortable with these guys being in my home around my wife and my children?
Yeah.
And if the answer is no, they're not my subcontractor. It's not so much an issue of cost or, anything else. It's, can I trust these guys to be in my home?
Oh, yeah.
And that's the basic, everything boils down to that. Cost is a secondary factor in that.
Well,
it's a good litmus test for sure.
It's accountability. It's because Tim, I've said this to real estate agents and financial advisors and people or satisfied customers who refer to me. It's like, I enjoy the accountability because it raises the game of everybody. Because, right, like, let's take in this group of three, because I call 1-800-ANDY, and it's like, well, Andy wants that to go well. And then Tim also wants that to go well because he's the guy who's like, hey, do you know who's awesome? Andy over at JRL.
Right.
So, and I also want it to go awesome because,
you're the customer.
Because I'm the customer and I have an audience called a spouse. And so it's like, it raises the accountability just across the board in a way that is like oxygen to the soul. Because, and Andy, to your point, your filter is like, if this person's a schmuck, I don't want you in my house. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
The schmuck filter, which I have no idea how do you even spell schmuck? SCHMUCK something.
Perfect. Yes.
Can I have a couple like actually about some of your project work.
Sure.
What thing have you done in the last year that you think you're going to rip out within the next 5 years? Like, this person had me install, like, what fashionable design thing are you like, this will not last? I have a nominee, carpet.
Well, yeah, I mean, so nothing comes right to mind because I've been very lucky with most of my clients is they pretty much know what they want before I get there for the most part. I mean, or at least they have an outline of an idea of what they want. I don't.
You're a politician. You're like, I'll install whatever you want.
Yeah.
You want orange drywall? Fine.
Ultimately, yes. And I tell my clients this all the time. You know, it depends on what you're going for. Are you going to live in this house? Are you remodeling it to sell? Or are you going to live in this house and this is just what you've always wanted? If this is just what you always wanted, you know, a purple bathroom vanity is just right for you. That's great. If you're doing it to put on the market in 2 months,
might be tough.
Maybe a white vanity would be more preferable, but I always with the caveat of saying, I'll do whatever you want, but here's the parameters that you have to look at. Is this going to be something that I've always wanted because we're staying here and we're making this house ours?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or is this to ultimately sell? So you want to be a little safer on that side. But there's nothing that comes to mind as super trendy that I would be like, maybe not. There's been some stuff that I thought would not work color-wise and just mixing that I kind of gritted my teeth installing. But at the end of it, it actually turned out very nicely.
Oh, okay.
And I don't want to be too specific on here because I don't want to out those clients because they're.
It was the color purple. Yeah.
Not the purple.
What is the most unreasonable request you've gotten from a customer? Again, you don't have to put anyone on blast here, but like, what's the most unreasonable request for some, really odd specific thing that a customer wanted done or something that just didn't make sense to you as a professional, home remodeler?
Again, at the risk of being boring, I think I have been very blessed with very good clients that they're not. Again, how do I be diplomatic about this? I can pretty much tell from the first call whether or not a client is serious, is going to be reasonable with their expectations. And a part of what I do with, getting a rapport with a client and dealing with and building that relationship is a certain level of trust in what I do versus kind of managing expectations of what's realistic.
Sure. There's a vetting process for sure.
Well, and some of the most unrealistic, I guess I can speak to some of the most unrealistic requests from clients are maybe trying to do too high end of a renovation for a house that they were trying to sell.
Like over improvement, basically.
Yes. For the market, and you guys can attest to this more. It's not my specialty, but I know if we're gonna, you don't need to spend $100,000 renovating a first floor bathroom of a house that is in a market where the top of the market is going to be like 300,000 when you go to sell it. It's just not, you're not going to get that return.
You're not going to get the dollar for dollar match on home value appreciation on what you put into it in certain circumstances.
Exactly.
And people totally, I can relate to this 100%, Andy. I mean, so a lot of people have a completely unrealistic expectation for that sometimes, where they're like, hey, I put $80,000 into this home. I can sell my house for $80,000 more, right? No,
it's not how it works.
And I came up, Andy, you'll be my filter for this. I described it as the 50-50 rule. If you're going to do home improvements, at best, you could say, if I spend $1, I will get 50 cents of home value improvement. And the other half needs to be for your pleasure and enjoyment, and it's what you want, right? So if you're going to spend $50,000 on a this, that, and the other thing, maybe 25,000 can be attributable to home improvement, not because you're a great designer, not you, Andy, I'm saying the particular client, not because you're a great designer, but because ultimately it means that a new buyer doesn't have to do the work and spend the money to to do that work. So yeah, it's not, yeah, you're not getting the value because of the quality of the work, you're getting it because it's done.
Yeah, there is a certain amount of that. And
Okay.
there's variables in a home, just as you guys know, spending $10,000 remodeling a bedroom, probably not going to get that return. If you spend the money, bathrooms and kitchens,
Yep.
Living space is huge now for people and basements and stuff like that. Um, the return on investment is basically, it depends on where you're remodeling and how crazy you go. I mean, other markets can handle it. Certain higher end markets can handle
Yeah.
a higher end remodel. If you're, no offense to West Dallas, if you're in West Dallas and
The
you're
kingdom.
yeah, and you're gonna remodel your kitchen for $150,000, I don't think you're gonna get that return that you're thinking. And it's great to look on Pinterest and say, this is what I want my kitchen to look. That's why when it comes to the client relationship and managing expectations is developing that rapport to say, okay, gently, maybe we don't go in this direction, for this area, because I don't think it's going to be a return. And maybe that's not good for me as a contractor, because I should be out to make the most money that I can. I can tell you that has not been the case. I enjoy remodeling and making improvements for people that, that wow factor when they first walk in.
Yeah. Well, and big picture, I think that's still a better business practice for you, because it's, and Dave and I view this about our industry as well. Like, it's not just about that one singular job or transaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
It can't be.
It's about doing that tightrope walk between giving the customer what they want, but also giving your guidance and feedback to hopefully steer them in the smartest direction. Because if you do that well, that person, not only will they be the most satisfied that they can be, but then it greatly increases your chances of gaining new and different business from that past customer, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And I love how you touched on, like, it is also about, like, okay, well, are you doing this because you just want to increase the value of your home, or are you doing this because this is what you want and you're going to live here for a long time and you want to enjoy it that way? Because then the money appreciation, part of it doesn't really factor in as much maybe into the decision-making process.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, because ultimately, Andy, there's a story that I'll probably tell for the rest of time. But when Andy was in our house, we were putting up a mantle, and my wife had it picked out. And Andy says, "Do you want me to put an outlet on the side over here, so that when you put Christmas garland across this mantle, you can just run it over to the side and plug it right in?" And the look, like the skies opened up and sunshine rained down. We were like, "Oh my God, that is brilliant!" Like, yes, absolutely. And what that small story encapsulates for Andy in renovation, but also, for example, with David and Tim in mortgage, when you've got someone doing it, it's like climbing Kilimanjaro. It's like, step there, don't step there. It's not someone sending you up the mountain being like, well, good luck to you. And I hope you can go the right direction. You probably don't know where to step or don't step, but you'll probably get up and down the mountain okay. And the difference between that kind of tailored remodel advice versus if you hire a medium to large size company, you're just on a schedule and the work has been scoped out and they're going to come in and they're going to do the work because that's what's on the piece of paper, and then they're going to go on their merry way, which is exactly what has been requested, right? But that detail of, like, I'm literally imagining when you were about to smash the second toilet in Tim's bathroom. Did you like look at him like, okay, are you sure? Like, you really want me to get rid of the second toilet? Like,
I think
everybody
everyone's
was in
100%
agreement on
certain
that
on
one.
that.
I know,
pretty much
but
from day
right,
one.
it's the pause right before it's like, okay, yes, hey, before I smash the second toilet, do you want to repurpose it to, put it in this other bathroom? Do you want me to take it to Goodwill? Do you want to donate it? Do you want me to put it on the side of your driveway so that somebody can come pick it up? Do you want to put it on Facebook Marketplace? Like, it's that pause consulting. Like, before I do the thing, what's that extra layer of experience that's being brought before we keep going with the projects? All that story from one little, and by the way, that outlet gets used all the time, not just at Christmas, all seasons in our house. Halloween, Valentine's Day, the 4th of July, St. Patrick's Day. That outlet is used all the time in our house.
Well, and it's something so simple as you saying like an outlet, for instance.
Yeah.
I can't think of everything up front before. I'm very good at visualization and seeing how everything's going to be, but if there's something about when the walls are up and you're physically walking through the space with a client, I always tell them you need to envision how you're going to use the space, where you're going to put furniture, where's the couch, where's the TV, where's all this stuff, because right now it's easy to do something as simple as an outlet. And my main thing that I tell almost every one of my clients is I will give suggestions or try and maybe think about it in a different way. Just because when all this is said and done, I don't want you to look back and go, I wish we would have done this, or I wish we would have done that. And there's some stuff that, like, as it's happening, we can walk through that space and actually see it. And then people can really start to wrap their head around, okay, here's where this is going to go.
You can make adjustments along the way.
Small adjustments that are huge
Yeah.
in the finished product that everybody loves. And it's little things like an outlet that people remember.
It's like surgery, right? Like, you know what? We've done a bunch of scans on your rib cage, and I think I know where I'm going. But then once I crack you open, guess what? Let's make sure that this goes well. So I think I've called you a mountain porter, a heart surgeon, and I'll come up with a couple others.
I've been called worse. So
David loves his metaphors, Andy. In case you haven't realized by now.
All right, so let's wrap up with. I'll try to make this rapid fire. Couple of just rapid fire questions. Andy, what is the biggest, most expensive thing you've ever broken on a job site besides dreams?
Yeah, probably a vanity that I was trying to move into the house by myself. And it wasn't broken, it was damaged, but ultimately had to order a door and repair it and stuff like that. It felt terrible. The client was super understanding and like, oh, it's not a big deal and this, that, and the other thing. But that's probably vanity. It was a very expensive vanity.
All right. What is the second most important tool in your toolkit? Number one, duct tape, I'm sure. But what's number two?
Number two, I use my saws all the time.
Your saws?
Yeah. Constant.
My next question. Have you put your phone number on the side of your truck yet? Or do you remain anonymous?
I remain anonymous.
You could either be doing a drug deal or driving to a job site, or both.
Absolutely. Yes. I have been amazingly lucky enough. I have gotten all my work by 100% word of mouth. There's been no advertising, no boosting of posts, anything like that, from people such as yourselves that are just recommending me to friends and family.
Awesome.
Boom.
Yeah.
What's the next remodel project in your house?
Next remodel project would probably be tearing down our house and building a new one.
Oh, that is the ultimate remodel. That's not a
changing
remodel.
About
that's
the
a
current
model
house anymore. You're just going to build a new one.
Yes, let's not remodel, and that's probably bad for me to say, but this house,
yeah,
we're not in love with it.
Will you keep the pool when you rebuild the new house?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
So you're going to have a pool
will be built around the pool.
Nice. There you go.
Are you an interior pool guy or an exterior pool guy, or both? California living.
I like being outside.
Okay.
Ultimately, I like being outside.
What is the? I don't want to ask that. What I was going to ask was, what's the biggest gap between what's the lowest someone thought that the project would cost, and then you gave them a spoonful of reality? Yeah, would it only cost like $4,000 to remodel our complete, primary bath?
Again, it comes down to managing expectations and discussing with people ahead of time, because there's a lot of people that, and this goes back to not having my name and phone number on the truck. Just because you're stuck in traffic, somebody's bored. How much does it cost to remodel my bathroom?
Yeah,
that's a very loaded question.
Oh, for sure.
A lot of my expectations that I manage are done on the initial contact. To be quite honest with you, about if people are really looking for a range, you can remodel a bathroom for $15,000. You can spend $120,000 on a bathroom.
Yeah, unlimited.
So there has been a few that have had some sticker shock, so to speak.
Okay.
They had never been through a remodel. They had never done DIY. They don't know how much lumber costs. I mean, they honestly, and it's nothing against them, they had no idea.
Okay.
Ultimately, they still hired me to remodel their bathroom. It just took them a while to process, and they may have gone with other people and gotten some other estimates and stuff. I don't know. I encourage that.
Do you feel like there is just this canyon of difference, to your point about first timers versus we've done a couple remodels?
There can be. Just in how materials work and design and how much stuff costs. Mainly it comes down to pricing, because as you guys know, the bulk of the cost.
Things cost money.
Yeah. Well, but the bulk of the cost is what's under the drywall when all is said and done. Moving plumbing, doing all the electrical, making sure, everything is thought of. The outlets are placed accordingly, so you guys have a good finished product. That's where all the design and all that stuff goes. You can paint walls, you can change colors easily.
Yeah.
But the brunt of the work is getting all the underlying stuff done prior to closing up a project, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Well, have you ever had to re-drywall? Like a client says, I hate this, and the walls are up, so it's like, okay, well, the only way, you want this that's here over here? Okay, well, we have to tear down the drywall, right?
So, yeah, I have had to do that, but it was an instance where I recommended a client, okay, if you're thinking about doing X, Y, and Z, maybe we should do some stuff here.
Yes.
No, not doing it. Okay. Come back 3 months later. Hey, remember that conversation we had? Well, now we would like to do what you originally said. And, how do we do that? Okay, it's not that big of a deal. We'll cut out some drywall and patch. It's not, and I always reassure them, no big deal. I'm happy to help.
And I told you so.
Yeah. Never I told you so.
You just walk around with a look on your face.
Yeah. It depends on how well I know the client, because there are certain clients I will absolutely say, I told you so. But as I move further into my business, there's more and more clients that I'm not sure how they got my number. They were just recommended by X, Y, and Z, and I have no connection with them now, which was a little anxious at the beginning of, when you're doing friends and family, it's easy to have a talk and rapport and stuff like that. But when you're just never had contact with somebody, it's different, but I like it. I enjoy that back and forth process.
Are you like deep diving on the internet? Like, how did this person, you're like a crazy person with like string on a wall to be like, well, he works here and then used to work with this guy.
Like that guy in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, no, it's not that. It's not that. But usually when people make that initial contact, they'll say, hey, my name's David.
Yep.
Tim gave me your number. I'm interested in having some, improvements done at my house. Usually that is forthcoming from the initial contact.
Sure.
As kind of an icebreaker, they'll say, I got your number from X, Y, or Z. I'm interested in having you over, and blah, blah, blah. So that's fewer and farther between, but I guess that's a testament to
you're out there.
I take a lot of pride in what I do, and the price, the price that I charge for what I do and stuff like that. And I like to think I'm different from other contractors.
We'll come up with a word. You're something that's an upgrade from contractor.
Home improvement specialist.
Whoa. Ugly elimination expert.
Yes.
Andy,
well,
give us.
My logo is a home with the recycle sign all the way around it. And my tagline that I really don't have on any of my stuff is your whole home resource.
Whoa.
Because I always say, if I can't do it, I know somebody that can.
Yeah. There you go.
Amazing.
Andy, as we wrap up, give us your 30-second plug for JRL so we can put this into a TikTok short and get it out into the universe.
Yes.
Oh, I want to go viral.
Yeah, don't catch that. Yeah, there's no. Yeah.
My 30-second spiel. JRL Improvements, small, lean and mean. I like to do improvements for people that have always wanted to do something in their house but never thought they could afford it or never had the means to go about even knowing how to do an improvement, whether it be just a small bathroom or whole house remodel or something like that. You just take it piece by piece, and I really enjoy doing that for people that are really going to utilize the improvements that I'm doing for them. And I really enjoy that process. So
amazing. All right. And thank you, Mr. Andy Renner, for joining this episode of the Blue Button broadcast and the Accunet Ambassadors show. As you can see, my garage will be one of my next projects because I need more shelving or whatever. So put that on the list sometime in 2030. I'll get back to you.
All right.
Good.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah.